If you know the story of Copie Duppy in Jamaica, you might have heard that a young lady was helping her aunt and uncle to clean their house when she broke a bottle. And that's when Copie escaped and started to cause trouble for that family. But there is an article that I found in 1974, the year that it happened, that explains something very different than what we think we know about Copie Duppy. Copie Duppy was considered to be a foul-mouthed duppy that claimed it was wearing a baggie. According to an article published in 1974, Isaac Brown was a farmer. He was 71 years old and his wife, Adina Brown, was 68. So these are big people. It all started one night, according to Mrs. Brown. She and her husband was in their house and they heard a knocking at the door. They didn't answer. What they started to do was to sing a hymn. A voice came from the door and shouted, "Me know that one," but didn't join in. They continued to ignore it. The voice then moved to the side of the house, started to create a bag of noise. Mr. and Mrs. Brown had to get up and go outside, look from their veranda to try to figure out what was causing that noise. Who was making that noise? They saw nothing and started to say the Lord's Prayer. That is when Copie Duppy started cuss up a whole heap of bad words. From that time, he took up residence in the cellar in the backyard, and that is where people would go to see and experience Copie Duppy. The article claimed that Copie Duppy silenced the dogs. Once the dogs identified that there was an entity in the yard, the dogs began to bark at Copie, and he said to them, "Bark no more." And nobody heard the dogs bark since. He would untie the people them donkey, burn the fences, and drink water from mid-air. Mr. Brown said in an interview that he traveled to Cuba in 1921. He returned home in 1929, went to England with his wife in 1961, and came back with her in 1964. On their return, he said he bought the house in Fonthill that they were living. They bought other lands surrounding the area, but some of the neighbors didn't like it. They had rented that same house that they bought 10 years prior. Mr. Brown said as soon as he bought the land surrounding the house and the house, bad mind was active. Mr. Brown went on to say that some people in the district wanted him to leave his house and his land. Mrs. Brown in an interview said that whoever wanted her to leave her house and her land, they're gonna be disappointed because she's not leaving her house and land. They're gonna have to unalive her first. Mrs. Brown was a 7-day Adventist and she did not fear Copie in any way.